My early Super Bowl thoughts. This is going to be my fourth Super Bowl with the betting network, and members have heard me say some of this stuff the last three Super Bowls, but it's worth repeating. Just because it's a Super Bowl doesn't mean you have to bet bigger. Also, betting on which team to win is just one single betting option. I haven't even bet on a team the last two Super Bowls. So many other betting options with all the prop bets and exotic wagers that offer probably better value. I post all my prop bets in the Betting Network Discord community. I've done pretty well the last 3 years, being up over 50 units combined since Super Bowl 2020 on just props alone. But let's get into some early thoughts about the actual game and matchup on the field. I thought the Super Bowl's opening line of KC minus 2.5 was right. Any real power ratings would have shown KC ahead of Philly based on season-long numbers, but if you're just going to go off the last 2 weeks, then I can see a bump up for Philly. But a two-game sample size doesn't really warrant Philly being minus 2.5, which is where they were at one point. The health for KC is huge, not just Mahomes, because I think he'll be fine, but KC's banged up on both sides of the ball. Offensively, they got Hardman, Juju Smith-Schuster, Kadarius Toney all dealing with injuries, and if the Super Bowl was to be played today, we'd likely be seeing Marcus Kemp and Sky Moore running primary routes, which is not ideal. Also, injuries to Snead and Gay on defense. Philly's definitely the healthier team at this point, no question. Now, with that said, I think we see this line continue to move back in favor of KC, especially as injury reports start to come out. I don't expect all those guys to miss the game and could actually see KC move back to being small favorites and the over-under moving back up to where it opened at, especially if KC wide receivers get announced healthy. Now, one thing both teams have in common is that both offenses haven't really been in chase mode from behind in a long time. It's been a while since we've seen either offense under real pressure to score. Everything has been comfortable for them. Now, if either team gets behind early, we'll likely see a bit of a different game than maybe projected, because also an obvious factor is both teams are outdoor teams. They've played in cold weather playoff games. Now they get the benefit of 2 weeks off to prepare to play an indoor game on a fast surface. Now, last talking point I want to mention is the strength of schedule. I've already seen a lot of debate around this. It's true that Mahomes and KC will be the best opponents Philly has faced all year, but as a saying goes, you can't really pick your opponents, and Philly, although they've played a weak strength of schedule, they've dominated those teams and blew them out, exceeding expectations. It's another thing if you're just sneaking by bad teams. I'll have a lot more to discuss in the next week about this game, the matchup, and of course prop bets, so stay tuned. In the meantime, good luck with all your bets.